2 days after recording the previous video, I got back on with the intention of finding some higher level Ravagers to tame. It didn't take very long to find a 110, which was good enough for the moment, so I led it to the trap I used for my first two, but then I realized I needed to put back the doors that I had removed to get the other two Ravagers out. I quickly got it to lose interest, got the doors on the trap, then got it to aggro me and led it into the trap, then knocked it out and tamed it. Once I got it back to base, I went out using it to find more high levels, and found a level 115 right by my base. I got pounced by a Raptor that decided to nope out of existence as I was heading over there, then killed the Ravager's pack. As I was attempting to get it to follow me, it decided that it would rather die to a level 5 Spino than get tamed by me. No. You're so annoying. So I went out in search of another, as I would still need a female to be able to get an imprinted one, which would be a massive help in getting more metal and other resources due to the Ravager's weight reductions and the imprint giving it more speed on top of higher stats. I decided to grab some more explorer notes and some metal while I was searching, that way I wouldn't go back to my base empty-handed. I found one at a different river, and quickly gathered the resources to make a new trap, since it was a bit too far to just use the previous one. Once I had it trapped, I headed back to my base to repair my crossbow, as it was very low on durability, as well as make another one, as well as some zip lines, that way I could traverse the map a bit easier. On my way back, I decided to murder a few trilobites along the river for their black pearls, oil, and silica pearls. Then I knock out the Ravager, and once I got back to my base, I got off for the night. The next day, I got on with two goals in mind. First, I wanted to tame a Spino so that I could clear the rivers of the low-level Spinos and crabs, and get higher levels Spinos to spawn so that I could go down into the red zone a bit easier. Second, I wanted to get at least one hazard suit set so that I could stop worrying about the mushroom spores and be able to go down into the blue zone without worrying about freezing to death, and also be ready for whenever I decide to get rock drakes. I started off by making some narcotic, and then I made a bunch of campfires to make charcoal for gunpowder so that I could use darts instead of arrows. While waiting for the gunpowder, I decided to breed my two higher level Ravagers so that I could go ahead and have an imprinted Ravager. I then left to try to find something to tame. While I was searching, I came across some roll rats that dug up some red gems, so I went ahead and took them so that I could make a gas collector, and was able to get enough to get two. Once I was back at my base, I made a long neck, some bullets, and some darts. Not enough to tame anything too high level, but enough to tame something good enough for what I needed. I find a level 100 Spino while out looking for somewhere to place my gas collectors, but for some reason I decided not to tame it. I found the gas veins and headed back to base to find that I had forgotten to tell the baby to not follow me, and it grew up inside a rock.
Okay, apparently I needed a walk. Okay, yeah, no, I completely forgot about it.
But I got lucky, and it seems that it wanted to walk for an imprint, so it was fully imprinted. So I switched the Ravager I was using for this imprinted one, then go out and find a level 125 Sarco. I knocked it out, but while waiting for it to tame, something killed it. I also tamed a few extra bulb dogs, just in case I died. I then started making a trap, then find and tame a level 95 Spino with some Christmas colors.
Let's just... right over top. Come on. Keeps getting stuck. Come on. Come on. There we go. Day 6, and I've got my first Spino. Get knocked out. Because my rates make things really quick.
I make a saddle while waiting, and then when it is tamed, I go out exploring and killing everything in the river, including an alpha carcanos.
Nothing useful, except for some levels. I'll take that.
On my way back to my base, I found both a 145 and 140 carcanos that spawned in the river by my base, and so I started farming to make a trap. While waiting for the metal for the trap to smelt, I collected the gas balls out of the collectors and was able to make 2 pairs of gloves and boots and 1 shirt. I get everything except for the metal ready, make a couple more forges, then go AFK for a bit while the metal smelted so that I can make the catapult. The design that I used from the trap comes from Captain Fat Dog, so go check him out if you haven't already. While I was waiting for some more metals to smelt, I decided to go ahead and set up the trap, as the only piece I was missing for it was the bolters for the catapult, which is what the metal was for. I found an area close enough to both crabs to set it up, and began making the trap. And I paused the game very frequently so that I could reference the video and make sure that I was placing things correctly so that I wouldn't waste any pieces or make it incorrectly.
they actually would go on this side. Both of these ones. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. Catwalk there. Ladder. Ladder. How does he do it? Then catapult. I think right there.
Then I returned to base to get the metal and stone so that I could make the boulders, and made sure to make enough so that I could knock both crabs out. I made about 30. Once the boulders were ready, I started trying to get the 140 to follow me into the trap. This was harder than it really needed to be, as the crab refused to follow me, instead of wanting to kill the other creatures in the area, and I had to resort to walking the crab to the trap on foot, instead of with my Raptor, which finally got the crab in after it escaped the first time when I used the Raptor. I decided to tame one crab at a time, mostly because I felt that with my taming rates, the 140 would tame while I was trying to knock the other one out, if I tried to tame them both at the same time.
That's look at that. Alright.
Once the 140 had tamed, I put it in a corner near the trap, led the 145 into the trap, knocked it out, then brought the 140 up to my base. I decided to go out on my Spino while I was waiting to level it up a bit, then had the Spino follow the crab back to base once it was tamed. Then, once I had gone back to base, I decided to call the day there.